Alright guys, so we're doing great today. Today is Thursday. This Saturday I have a fiber festival up in Maryland. It's the Frederick Fall Fiber Fest. All the F's right there. But we're doing great. My downstairs bathroom may or may not have the toilet leaking. We'll find out. We'll do a little experimentation. Oh my god. And then my computer died yesterday, won't charge, and doesn't even give like the little battery icon to say that it's like dead. So I have no idea what's going on. So we have an appointment today for that. Somebody is sick at work, but I refuse to go in on my day off again and take a tour. So I'm waiting for somebody else to take care of that. What else is going on, guys? Oh, so I had left some buckets. I don't know if you can see them in the background, they're blue. Here, but I had one more bucket at home, except that it turns out that bucket has a broken lid, which means I couldn't use it to carry water. So I found two smaller containers that had kind of a weird lid, but I was like, it'll work. They both spilled in the back of my car. So now the back of my car is like 3 inches deep in water, and the sheep didn't get their full complement of water. So I gotta go figure out how to bail at the back of my car, and then I'll have to let it dry tonight when I get home, I guess, because it's got to be dry by Saturday so I can get all my stuff up to Maryland. And then I'm going to have to swing by the store to get them some like gallons of water, because I don't want to drive like half an hour, 40 minutes home and then have to turn around. But I also want them to have enough water. So we're doing great. They are lucky. They are cute. Do you see that? How gross is that? I don't know what to do. So this has nothing to do with yarn, except if you count that I have yarn simmering on the stove and I went upstairs to take a shower so I could get ready. But this is the Power Camo, sorry, from Magpie. I don't know actually how you say the company, but I love this stuff. And I've been using it for like over a year. Not sponsored, by the way. But this little tiny bottle over here has lasted me like forever, and I just ran out. So I went on and I ordered more, but I was so confused because they didn't the bottle didn't look like this, it looked like this. But they're both Power Camo, and they're both 25 milliliters. So can you tell me why we needed to have this extra jumbo package instead of this one? The other thing that bothers me is I can't do it one-handed, but the big guy is a pump, which, yes, it keeps your fingers and whatever out of the actual, like, not really makeup, but like the cream. But this one came with, or maybe it was the other one, the one that I got came with like a little metal dipstick, which is washable and reusable, right? And so you can keep it clean anyway, and you can get into all the little tiny corners to get all of the cream out. Whereas with a pump bottle, you can only get whatever pumps out. So Magpie, I'm gonna tag you in this and you can explain to me why you not only upped the size of your packaging. Let me look at the difference in this. For the same amount of stuff, they both say, I don't know if I can get it in shot, but they both say 25 milliliter. They are identical. They are the same size, but it uses twice as much packaging. And with a pump, you can't get all the cream out. So you got some explaining to do. I tell you what, guys, the hits just keep on coming. So I told you my computer was dead. And in my head, like, I was expecting my charger to not be working. That wasn't the case when I took it in. But like dead battery, maybe one of like the power chips is fried or whatever. Yeah, computer doesn't celebrate its 3rd birthday until December, and the logic board died. So not only is the entire computer trash, everything that was on my computer is trash. So we're hanging in there. It's like almost $900 to fix it, or you're talking like $2,000 to $3,000 to get a stinking new computer. It's absolutely ridiculous. And when I talk to like the Apple people and they want me to bring my computer in, just so, like, the bar people, the Genius Bar, they're not, like, they have, like, a Google level of knowledge. But anyway, that's not the point. But, like, I've done IT for years, and, like, I can give you usually a few weeks warning that your logic board's gonna go. Like I knew all the signs to look for, and my computer had none of the signs that my logic board was going. And so didn't have time to back anything up. It's like between $2,000 and $4,000 if you want to try to extract your information. So all my stuff is gone. Like, whatever at this point. But so anyways, so I have to go get my computer from Williamsburg. That's like an hour and a half from where I am. But then I also have to go to work. But then in order to bring my computer back, I don't know if they're open on Sunday because I've got a show tomorrow. I'm telling you guys. But after spilling all my water in the car yesterday, I took all my bags out for my trunk show. And I forgot to put them back in. So I got here to Dances with Wold to come get my trunk show to pick up. And didn't have any bags. But they fortunately, they were really nice. They had some shipping boxes and they just stuffed it all in there. So that was fantastic. Got my sales report. I just counted it. It looks like I sold like 17 skeins. And here's the trouble with trunk shows. Like, I think it's really great. I love working with the stores. It's great exposure because there's people coming there anyway and they pick up like a card or they take a picture of your label or whatever. But it's expensive. So my total sales were $458, but I only make $274.80 off of that. Because you pay them a 40% commission. And so it's always really, really tough because you make more money selling it at your own stuff, but you get like a constant bit of exposure from regulars doing trunk shows. I just need my own, guys, I just need to quit my job and get a store. Does anybody want to go in with oh, I can't even talk. Does anybody want to go in on a yarn store with me? We'll open one up. Contact me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now it's 1:45, which means that I'm running super behind for work because I'm supposed to be there at 2. Clearly I cannot make like an hour and a half drive in 15 minutes. Then I'm going to stop by the sheep because, like I said, I spilled their water yesterday, which means they need their more water. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But we're going to keep on chugging because forward is the only way that you can go. All right, guys, we are here and we're making it happen. So last night I got home from work a little after 11. And I had some plushies that were like almost finished and I could have stayed up and knocked them out. But I was like, you know what? This is week 5 of 5 in a row of markets and I am exhausted. I've got like no stock. It's not going to be worth it. Like, I've got a big show. I've got 2 big shows. Well, I don't know how big they are. I've got one big thing and one possibly big thing coming up in just a couple of weeks. And so rather than rush and stay up all night to get just a few more things done, I'm going to keep those partials and just get them done for the next thing. They're going to sell. It's going to be fine. It doesn't really matter. So I was supposed to get up at 2 o'clock with the goal of being on the road by like 3:30. I ended up sleeping in until 2:45, which I knew I was going to do. I always tell myself to get up earlier so that way when I sleep in, I still have enough time. So I ended up getting on the road at about 3:50. It's supposedly like a 2-hour and 50-minute drive-ish, but I stopped at Wawa for the giant drink. I also got myself some chips because then like every few minutes I could stop and have like a chip to keep me awake. Stopped by Starbucks for more caffeine. And then I also stopped and took like a 10-minute nap at a rest stop at some point. So it's now 7:20-ish, I think. I have to be set up by 8:30 with the market opening at 9. But I'm going with a really, really simple 1-table setup because I don't care. Like, it's not that I don't care. I want it to look nice. I don't have that much yarn left because of the trunk show. I told you guys I think I told you about the trunk show. I've got my boxes back here. So I've got hardly any stock left. I did dye up some more stuff, which if I can get it all tagged, I think I added it up and it's like another $816 worth of inventory. So it's
nothing to sneeze at. It's just not a lot. So we're going to go in and we're going to go get set up. And then one of the things I like about this place is that they have indoor bathrooms. We'll take a bathroom break and then we'll get all ready to go. I think I'm parked right now in a place where I'm not supposed to be parked, but everybody else is parked here. So we're at least going to see if it works. But it's right out in front of my barn. It's not really a barn. It's like a pole barn, metal building thing, you know what I mean. And I pulled right in. There was just enough room for my car in this space, so I bet you somebody moved and left it open. And then I am going to unpack. It's right across from it, so should be nice and easy to do. So let's go ahead and get set up, guys. Yay! All right, guys, so we almost had a tragedy. You know my checkout booth, right? And it's got the little black thing that wraps around the top. Took everything out of the bag that carries it and could not find the wraparound. And I'm like panicking, and I had 2 extra tablecloths like for my 4-foot table. And so I was like, it's okay, we'll improvise, we'll get it done. I had put it between the 2 shelves so that it wouldn't get wrinkled. Oh my gosh, never doing that again. All right, so we have half an hour until we're supposed to be set up and an hour until everything starts. I'm feeling a little panicky because the people on that side aren't here, the people on that side aren't here, and the people behind me aren't here. So I am literally an island. It's a little loud out here, but I'm gonna go check in, and this is my prize for the prize bucket. So we are all checked in, yay. But we're gonna go do a quick bathroom run before we finish setting up.
So when I'm walking that trail, I'm now we're all right.
All right, so now that we're all set up, we're on to our challenge for the day. Now, you know that I usually want to work on my samples or bring my big bag of plushy stuff, but I was not about baggage this morning. But with all my other things coming up, I wanted to get a move on some of those hats that I was telling you about. So I want to see how many hats I can knit today. I have no idea what that answer is going to be. We're going to find out. This one just needs its top closed, and it's a child size. And then I was working last night at work on this one and got that far on an adult small or adult medium. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but that size. So let's jump in and see how many of these we can knock out today. Whew. Holy cow, guys. Today was a day, let me tell you what. So I can't even remember like what happened this morning, but I was mildly crabby because, you know, I was tired and like, you know, it's the morning. I'm not a morning person. And I was super, super worried on several counts. I, first of all, totally forgot my table risers at home, but fortunately, I didn't actually forget them at home. They're in the back of the car from last time. So I was able to prop my table up, which I'm really liking having the higher table. It's just, I don't know, makes everything easier to see, makes it easier for people to shop from. So loving, loving, loving the table risers. They're off of Amazon. They're actually bed risers. So it came with 2 sets because you can like really, really rise it, but I'm afraid people would hit the table and it'd fall over. So, but they're actually made for beds. Then I was kind of worried a little bit that my yarn wouldn't fill my display, but I'm really glad that I went down to the 1 table because it's actually like the perfect size for the yarn that I had. So I like the way that that turned out. Super easy to shop. And then I had my checkout stand kind of behind it, behind my other table. So that way there was a little bit of a recess for people to step out of the way of the table and get off the main aisle while they were paying. So that was really nice. And I also made sure that that checkout stand was like 1.5 feet inside of my marked off area. So that way I had plenty of room to walk around, so I could get from behind my table out to the front super easy without having to, like, you know, trip over everything. So that was really, really great. Fortunately, the people on either side of me did finally show up, although the people on my backside did not. That was a little tricky because that meant people were constantly like trying to cut through my booth, which drove me nuts a little bit. The guys on one side, I'll have to go back and look and see what their floor is like. Not Hillshire Farms, because that's something else. Hills, I don't remember, but that guy. They asked permission to cut through between the tables, and I totally said yes because they're super nice. My sheet bag that I have all the time is from them from last year. And when the guy said hi and we were chatting, I was like, hey, and by the way, the tote bag I got from you last year is still going strong. And I showed him and he gave me like a big hug. They're so nice. Anyway, their setup, like, they were late, but they like rolled in and were ready to go in like 5 minutes. It was super impressive. But as we were chatting, I was saying that I was like super low on stuff. They have their wool like mill spun, and he said usually at shows like this they'll have 3 of their bookcases completely full, but because they're having trouble like getting their stuff spun, that they had 1 bookshelf and it wasn't even completely full. So we were all running a little low this late in the season. So sorry to all the people of Frederick, because I think we were all starting to fade a little bit by this weekend, because like tons of fiber festivals before this. But anyway, ladies on the other side they're interesting. I just think they were a little bit oblivious. They were nice, but like they came in and they start setting up their stuff, but they start setting it up like literally a foot into my booth. And I had my 2 drinks, really concerned about my caffeination. You guys know how I am. And she kept like walking into my booth, and eventually I bent over and like grabbed my coffee and my soda and moved them to the side. She's like, oh, don't worry, you're not in the way. No, I'm not that clumsy this morning. And I'm like, I know I'm not in the way. And I kept what I was doing. And at that point, I think she realized that they were like so far out of their spot, it wasn't even funny, because she started scooching everything back in. And then the poor lady on the other side had left room on like through her area as well, so she could get behind, and they had totally like pushed their chairs. Oh no, it wasn't their chair. Yeah, they had their chair pushed over and their mirror and like all this other stuff. And the other lady was like, you know, it doesn't even bother me. It's fine that you're in my space, just as long as I can like walk through yours to get back behind here so I can get to my cash box. And they're like, oh yeah. Scooch the folding chair out of the way. And then when the other woman comes back from wherever she was, she immediately pushed the chair back, blocking again. But they finally figured it out and moved it like over on my side. But anyways, they were nice. They just, I think, were a little oblivious, but whatever, it's fine. It's fiber people. We're all gonna get along. What else happened today? What else was fun? I don't know. It was just really good. What do I want to do first? Let's do food. So, I actually tried 2 food trucks today because it's a 1-day event. Can't try another one tomorrow. The first one was an authentic Mexican food truck. I don't know if it had another name to it. But I got the flautas. Oh my gosh, chicken flautas. And it came with like the little, I don't know what it's called, but the cheese that starts with the C. And lettuce, pico, sour cream, a little side of salsa. Oh my gosh, it was so good. They give you like, oh, sorry. It's kind of expensive, like all the food is, but they give you 5 of them. So I was like stuffed after I was done. It was so good, guys. It was so good. And then I went back to get like dinner for the road. I ate it already because I got it like right at the end of the show. But I went to the grilled cheese truck, which is not the same grilled cheese truck as before. I think I kind of like the other one. I think the other one was a little more artesian. But this one was pretty good. I got the one that was some sourdough, like the other fancy truck, but it's a little bit thinner than their sourdough. And I got the one that had cheddar cheese, avocado spread, bacon, and spicy ranch, and I got minus the tomato on it because I didn't want the tomato because I'm a baby. That was really good as well. What else? Did a little shopping. Let's do numbers and then I'll show you my purchases. But don't go away because we have one more adventure for tonight. So I wrote down, I didn't bring my notebook with me either. I'm like forgetting all kinds of, oh, this is my sign that I used when I went to go shopping and to get my food. So it's really fancy. It was my floor sign that I peeled off the floor. But anyway, so I ended up selling 26 skeins of yarn today, which is not the best I've done, but it's also not the worst. So, you know, considering what I had, that's not bad. So that was a total of $729, if I'm not mistaken, in sales. So that was really fantastic. Much better than I thought I was going to do, especially since I didn't get my first sale until a while in. Like, it wasn't like a super while, but usually like people start shopping right away. It was really interesting though, because the vibe felt different. Like, a lot of fiber festivals, there's like this laid back, strolling, pet all the fibers. People were going really fast. Like, they had like this laser focus, and they'd be like looking and scanning. They'd look, and they'd like touch, and they'd be like, oh, think about that. But it was like at a fast pace. I don't know if it's just like Maryland yarn people versus Virginia yarn people. I don't remember this from last year. I just don't remember. I don't remember what it was like. But it was really interesting because it was very much like everybody was hunting, where it was like very serious. There wasn't like, I don't know, it was just a different vibe, which wasn't a bad vibe, but it was different and it was interesting. So that was fun. Also realized that my portable charger, I didn't bring the cord that I needed. I thought the cord was reversible and go into my phone. It did not. So I've got my charger, but can't charge it. So that was sad. Okay, purchases. So as I was setting up, the booth a couple down from me had bags, and that's what I wanted to be my present for today. It was a bag, because I was still sad about not getting my little bucket bag from Cottontail Farms. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. But I walked by the booth, and every time I walked past as we were setting up, I was like, ooh, that's the bag I want. And then I'd pass by and she'd have like rearranged everything and there was a different bag out, and I'm like, that's the bag I want. So there's actually two that I really liked, but I held myself back and got just the one. So first of all, the company, Squire's Canvas Creations. Again, I don't know if you guys can ever read these. There's a little QR code. Again, I don't know if that'll pick it up at all. But super fantastic. And the bag I got, guys, how stinking adorable. So this is really nice, kind of heavy canvas. It has the leather, like, accents and details. And then I love, like, it's just like a little carry, but it's like long and narrow, and it has like this nice inside. And there's another bag, the other bag I liked, was more like a bucket shape, and it had pockets and a longer strap. But I was like, I don't know, just, this really called to me. I loved this bag, and it's so nice. It's got the, like, the little thingy on the side, a little thingy on that side, so you could put a strap on it if you wanted to, or clip like your knitting notions, little pouches or whatever to it, or your keys. You can also flip them inside. So anyway, love this bag, super excited. They also had one that was like pinstripe. It was like a blue and white ticking pinstripe, and it had a blue inside, and I really liked that one too. I love the stripes, but I always wear black, and it always makes me feel weird carrying a blue bag. And they also had a dark navy blue of this too, which is also really pretty, but again, me and blue. So I ended up getting the green one, and I really, really like it. And that's their card. Put that back in there, because I still might get the other bag. I'll go online and see if they have it online. It was pink. It was bright pink. And you're like, Kim, you don't do bright pink. That's okay. So they put a nice little duster bag. Super great. All right, and then I was done for the day. Like, I was finished. That's all I wanted. That's all I needed. And then last year, I had seen people walking around with these super shiny bags. And finally, I was chatting to somebody in my booth, and she had one of the bags. It's like all dusty. And I was like, where'd you get the bag? And she turned it around, and I could see that it's Cape May Fiber Co. And I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna have to go and like check them out. And she's like, oh, this is what I got, and pulls out this skein of yarn. Guys, this skein of yarn. I had to go over and check it out. So the skein that she had pulled out, I think is the same color. It's so... Okay, maybe it's this... So, sorry, I'm like snipping my yarn. Do you ever do that? I have some of this that I had soaked like a little bit too long, and I had like a smell to it, like not a bad smell, but just like a, I don't know, a fibery smell. Hers smells like that too. Maybe it's just the yarn. Maybe it's the alpaca. Maybe it's alpaca because I'm used to smelling the sheep. I don't know. But there's their logo. And this is their Surrey Silk Chonk, which is the 90% Surrey alpaca, 10% mulberry silk. I do the same thing, but I do the lace weight. This one, it's not on here. Sport weight, DK weight. They actually had a really cute sweater that took 2 skeins of this. So there's 246 yards to 100 grams. Hand dyed in New Jersey. And she's like, and there was a hat they had. She was showing me that. She was really nice. We were like almost at the end, so we were just trying to hang in there. And then she took me over to see this shawl she had knit. Guys, it is called the Merfolk Fade Shawl by Jennifer Owens. So I went ahead and just plain old bought the pattern while I was there. I might go on Ravelry and then get one on Ravelry as well if it exists. I can't remember. The weight of yarn is different in the pattern from this, but she followed all the instructions, like same needle and everything, just because it's so fuzzy, it knits up at a bigger gauge. But like, it was so soft and so fluffy, and you basically need 3 skeins of yarn. And so, this was the one I started with. Like, I had to get this one, okay? And then I saw this one. I think this is the one she had knit her sweater in. And I'm like, that is gorgeous, okay. But I need a pop. And they had another one that was like kind of colorful, a little bit more saturated. But I ended up going with that one. Oh my gosh. Like, how freaking gorgeous are these, okay? So this one is Pink Sand. It's so pretty. Like, the camera's not even doing it justice. It's like this purpley, tanny, pinky, I don't know, it's gorgeous. A little bit gray. I can't even tell. It's gorgeous. And then Ocean something. I can't read that, but it says Ocean something. And then Needle in the Haystack is this one. And again, it's kind of like the dusty pinks and some golds, and oh my God, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And then I got a bag. I have no idea if I paid for the bag or not, because she asked me if I wanted one. I said, heck yeah. But usually they're $10 or they're free over $100. But my total came to less than $100, but I think she gave me a discount because I was a vendor. So I don't know. I have no idea how much this cost. I have no idea. But it was fantastic, and I'm so excited. So those are my big purchases for today. I did do a little online shopping while I was sitting there because, yeah, that's what you do. But I'm not going to count that in today's purchases. They don't count. So you might be also wondering how I did on my hat challenge. Horrific is how I did. So this is the child size one that I finished off. I've actually kind of like changed which pattern I'm using to see if I like this other pattern better. Like the sizes are slightly different. So I don't know. But that's the child size right there. And it actually kind of fits my head. Like it's tight, but it's doable. So this definitely fits a child. And then I finished up my pink one. And I think this is the one where I switched up the pattern like halfway through. And I think I got the proportions right on this one. So it still has just a little extra at the top. But it fits more like a beanie. And yeah, so I like that. That's nice. And then I cast on another one, but I got like a different pattern, a free pattern online. I can't remember what it's called. It's from Broman Fields. Is that the name? And I swear I've either started knitting this hat before, and then maybe, I don't know. Maybe I did knit it before. I have no idea. But I didn't have the right size needles. It was supposed to be 11s for these and then 13 for the main part, but I had 13s. I had 13s and 15s. So we just made it all in 13s. So I haven't decided yet if I'll size up for the top. Maybe not, because this is already, well, it's already pretty stretchy. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Ooh, hello. But this does like fold up. Don't think the entire thing is ripped. But that's all I got done. I had like this whole picture in my head of like a little stack of baby hats being done. But it takes forever to do rib on these needles. I don't know. It'll be fine. We'll get them done. But that is that for the festival. Anything else happen? I don't think so. It was really good though. And then let's go on an adventure. Oh my gosh, so I was trying to figure out why town was so busy, you know, other than it being a Saturday. And then I saw a guy in a squirrel costume outside of a barber shop, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? There's some sort of like trick or treat something or other, because there are people like everywhere in costume. So I hope they have a good time. Like, it's not that close to Halloween, is it? I don't even know what date it is. I don't know, whatever, it's fine. But yeah, Magpie Fibers, super excited. My only parking I could find though was 15 minutes for a quarter, and it was 15-minute limit. So I had to run and then come back before I got like a parking ticket. But my purchase, I got a skein of Plume in mint condition. It is 75% cashmere, 25% silk lace weight, and I think I took a video of the shawl I want to make. It's another Hohi Locatelli. Are you surprised? But I'll go ahead and add this to my collection. But see, the shawl was in a really pretty, like, it's called Velvet Underground. It was a deep, like, purple color. And I'm like, that's pretty. But I think the last time I made something in a lace weight, it was also a deep purple. And then they had like a couple of pretty like gray colors, and there's like a rusty red. And I was like, that's kind of pretty. But like, I want a pop of color. I don't have anything that has color in it. So I ended up just going crazy and going with this one. It took me like forever to decide. But I think that's going to be the end of our adventure for this video and this fiber festival. So thank you for coming along for the ride, and we've got some more markets coming up, and so we will check in and figure out what our goals are for those. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.